Hello, wonderful humans, and welcome back to the Art of Chronically. So I right now am in the midst of getting ready for multiple medical procedures, and I wanted to take a moment to share some of my tips and tricks on how to set yourself up for success when you know that you're getting ready to face a medical procedure. So one of them that I'm getting ready for is my IVIG therapy. And if you all are interested in knowing my having a specific video about IVIG and how I prep for it, let me know in the comments. I get my IVIG infusions every 3 weeks. For CIDP as well as primary and common variant immunodeficiencies. And I've been doing it for 4 or 5 years now, so I have that down to a pretty good science, and I have a pretty good grasp on how to set myself up for success for those infusions. So if anyone's interested in an IVIG specific video, let me know in the comments, but this is more about setting yourself up for success for any type of medical procedure. Excuse me, per usual, I have the hiccups. Gosh, excuse me, so glamorous. So when you're getting set up for a medical procedure, or when you know that you have one coming up, I like to make sure that I am ready. And one of the first things I do is get my house ready. So I have kind of a set of things that I go through to make sure that I'm ready. And step one is getting my space ready. So you really want to set yourself up for success and set your space up to have really good healing and positive energy and vibes. So what I mean by that is clean your house. So, and with this list, I'm not expecting you, and I'm not saying that you as a person should try to do all of this on your own. This is one of those situations where asking for help and reaching out to your support team is like a really, really great thing. And so especially when it comes to like cleaning, a lot of us really struggle with that. So don't be afraid to ask for help. But I have found that keeping my house clean in general really helps me. But if I'm about to have a procedure, or if I'm recovering from a procedure, excuse me, so if I'm feeling like extra icky, it makes all the difference having a clean space, particularly my bathroom, my bedroom, and then whatever part of the house I'm going to be recovering in. And that's just because we feel better when the space around us is good. So when I had my first IVIG infusion, I didn't think that way. I didn't know really what I was getting into, and it made me really nauseous, and it can sometimes, and I hadn't cleaned my bathroom. And there's nothing worse than throwing up in a dirty bathroom. Like I can't think of anything worse. And so now I just make sure my bathroom's clean. I always make sure that my bed, like I have fresh, clean sheets, that my bed's set up cozy, that I have blankets ready for my couch, that space is set up. I make sure that my laundry's done, because you want to make sure, particularly like your snuggle clothes, make sure that they're clean before you need them. So sort of think ahead of when I'm in pain, like you know you're going to be feeling bad, you know you're going to be feeling like, ugh. So what will make you feel better? Kind of try to like think about future you and set that person up to have a better experience. And so for me, it's definitely cleaning up my space and setting it up so it's nice. And that includes like I'll put books on my coffee table that I know I'm gonna read, or I'll make sure that my computer charger is easily plugged in so that I can have my laptop right there. It's those little things so that you're not just like, oh my god, where is this? Yeah, so keeping that clean. Laundry, you don't want to be doing laundry when you're feeling terrible, and you don't want to be wearing dirty clothes, so do your laundry. And then also making sure that you organize your medications, and that includes things like Tylenol or Pepto or any kind of over-the-counter meds that you take, and also like your thermometer, your heating pad, your ice pack, those kinds of things. Make sure you know where they are so that you can either quickly access them, or if someone else is grabbing them for you, you can say it's in the bathroom cabinet on the top shelf on the left-hand side. You know what I mean? Like, it's easier to say, it's easier for other people to help you if you know where things are. Like my nurse, when she comes to my house, she knows where I keep my Tylenol, she knows where I keep my Band-Aids, she knows where I keep my at-home thermometer, so she has an idea of, okay, I know where these things are, and then when I'm feeling brain foggy and yucky, I don't have to think, because you don't want to have to think any more than is necessary or create any extra stress or strain than is necessary when you're already in a recovery situation. So setting up your house space is step one for sure. Step two is to make sure that you have a food plan. So how are you going to feed yourself? And this is a really good place again to ask for help. I like to prep beforehand, so I have some stuff that's already made, or that I have like kind of planned out what the meals are going to be. So we do a lot of crock pot stuff, or we at least know we have all the groceries for the meals so that it makes things easier. Oh, I'm being joined by a kitty, sorry. So it makes things easier. But if you know what you're gonna eat ahead of time, it helps and it makes it just easier, because when you don't feel good, the last thing you want to do is figure out what to eat, and the last thing you want to do is cook it. You may not have the energy to cook, so pre-prepping food is really important. And then that's a great way for people to support you too, is you can say, you know, it'd be super helpful if on this day you could bring me like a frozen casserole, or if you could come help me make something and have a recipe ready for them, or, you know, something like that. Whatever works for you. These are just kind of how I work, but you'll know what you need. And I like to make sure that I have a couple different options. Like I have foods for if I'm feeling really nauseous, and then I have foods for if I'm feeling like super ravenous, or if I'm craving something salty. I have things that are set up for no matter what my appetite is that day, because my appetite is super fluctuating. It's just like, maybe I want to eat, maybe I want to throw up, maybe I can't decide. So I like to kind of have a few different options to choose from. So making sure that you have a plan of like how you're going to feed yourself after your procedure and during your recovery time is super important, because nourishing your body and making sure you're getting the nutrients that your body needs is going to make your recovery so much better. So with that, another thing that's super important is to make sure you have your medical information organized. And this for me is less important with like my infusions, because my nurse has all of my medical information in her records. So really it's just if I've changed any medications, I have to remember to tell her, or if there have been any changes to my symptoms since last time I saw her, I try to kind of jot that down, because in the moment, like as she's setting the IV and I'm on, you know, she's giving me all these drugs that make me extra brain foggy, I'll maybe forget. So just like jot them down. But for sure, like I'm having surgery on next week. I'm like trying to figure out what day it is, y'all. My brain is very foggy. But so I'm having surgery, and the hospital was like, you have so many medications and drug allergies, like, can you bring a list? And I keep a Word doc, a Google doc of all my medications, and so it's super easy for me to access it. And then I just print it off every time I go to the doctor, and I give it to them so that they can just have a paper copy. So make sure that you have like an updated copy of list of your medications. Make sure that you have a list of your other conditions, especially if it's like a newer doctor, someone that you're not as familiar with. Like my sinus surgery, he's a newer specialist for me, and so it's important for me to make sure that they know, like, I have these other conditions as well. You're setting the hospital up, you're setting your care team up for success when you provide them with more information. So try to make sure that you have that as organized as possible, because the day of, your brain's going to be in a bajillion places, and you're probably going to be given medications that are going to scramble your brain. Or I always say it scrambles my eggs because my brain feels like scrambled eggs. So you're going to be like, your brain's going to be scrambled eggs. You don't want to have to think about anything hard. So have your lists printed out, have your house clean, clean the litter box if you have a cat, put away the dishes, do those little things beforehand. So you're just like setting yourself up to come home to like good vibes, healing vibes. And then with that, kind of my last little piece of advice is carve out a moment, carve out some space to prepare your mind and body. And this is more important than almost any of the other things. If you're too sick to clean your house and you don't have anyone that can help you, that's okay. Like, you can still have a successful medical procedure. You can still have a successful infusion, a successful surgery with a dirty house. It's not gonna like make it or break you. You can still be successful if you don't have a meal plan. Like, you don't have to set the bar super, super high. It's okay. Like, this isn't a video to make you feel like you have to be perfect. The most important thing is to make sure that you're prepared. So nourish yourself. Take time to make sure that you are kind of like doing self-care, calming exercises. So if you meditate, do meditation. If you like to do yoga, do some yoga. Go for a walk. Just find some time to like, like ground yourself and feel good. And other things, like for IVIG, it's super important to hydrate before, so I make sure to do that. For other procedures, they're going to have other instructions, so make sure that whatever instructions your nurses or doctors or whomever are giving you, make sure that you follow those and follow them with intention, because they're there for a reason. So really, the few days before, really be intentional about how you're treating your body and you're treating yourself. And then with that, my trauma counselor actually gave me this beautiful nugget of advice and wisdom, because one of my trauma categories is actually medical PTSD. And so I was asking him, when I'm in a situation where like I can't escape medical stuff. Like, that's just not possible. So how do I feel less afraid going into it? And he told me to create a mental movie. And what that means is imagine the situation and then imagine it going really, really well. So you picture it going perfect, like as well as it possibly can, and you allow yourself to play that mental movie in your mind as many times as you need to start to feel good. And I have found that when I do that, it helps my anxiety, it helps me feel less afraid, because I have sort of prepared myself to be ready energetically or emotionally, or however you want to phrase it, for this thing that I'm afraid of. And so that's a super important component that we often forget. And if I'm freaked out, like, I have certain playlists that I listen to that are like inspirational, and so I'll like play that music, or I have just like little things that I do that I know make me feel better. And even if they're kind of silly to other people, who cares? It's not their journey, it's yours. And this is about you right now. You're taking care of you and your body. So whatever it is that makes you feel safe, that makes you feel calm, that makes you feel good, like, do that. Do as much of it as you can. So that is how I prep for medical procedures. And it's really, at the end of the day, it's really about just setting yourself up for success and creating an environment and a mindset of positive, healing, good energy. And with that, it's making sure you're reaching out to your support system and you're communicating with them and saying like, hey, I'm gonna need help this day, or I sent an email to my friends, to a lot of my really close friends, saying I'm about to have a bunch of surgeries and procedures, like these are the dates. I want you to know because I care about you, and also I probably won't be responding to texts or emails, so if I'm not, like if I don't get back to you, please don't be hurt or don't think that I'm ignoring you. I just kind of set myself up to know that I have permission to go fully into healing. Like all the way, when I get done, I can just enter into this healing space. And yeah, having my house clean, having a plan for food, having all my medical stuff organized beforehand allows me to get home after that procedure or once it's done to just drop into that space of healing. So I hope that this helped give you guys some advice on how to get ready when you're about to go into a procedure, whether it's surgery or a test. Some tests are super invasive. You can do this for really anything that's going to require recovery time, anything that's going to require you to be down for a while. You can do any modified version of this, but it's really about setting yourself up for success and knowing what you need and what will make you feel better. Because you want to think about what you'll need after. Think about the future you and send that person as much love and good vibes and healing energy as possible now, so that when that time comes, you can like receive it and feel so grateful to your past self. Yeah, that's what I've got today. I just wanted to share it with you guys because it's so important, and I have noticed a huge shift in how successful I am in not only going to and receiving medical procedures, treatments, tests, all of that kind of junk, and also in my recovery. I am so much more successful. I'm so much calmer. I have a better experience overall when I take the time to really set myself up for success. So thank you so much for stopping by today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks so much, and take care, y'all.